Of course you did. Yeah, my computer don't like that. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Nick, and I'm sitting here today with Tay Tay is on the ones and twos now. Hey, Miss Taylor.
Hello.
And our special guest from our wonderful friends at the North Central Texas County of Government Agency on Aging, Mr. Marty Mascari. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. I am absolutely thrilled to be here.
Well, tell us about yourself.
Tell you about myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you do, Mr. Marty?
What do I do? So I am a contractor under the North Central Texas Council of Governments. Under two programs, the North Central Texas Area Agency on Aging and the North Central Texas Aging and Disability Resource Center, or ADRC. The ADRC is a newer program. It's been around since about 2010 or 2011.
Okay.
And the Area Agency on Aging has been around.
Man, so when I found you guys, I was like, thank you, Jesus. Because I don't always get the information I need the first time. And when I found you guys and I sent that email and Miss Donnie said, we'd love to. And I was like, score for the film. Because I was like, everybody needs just a little bit more information, a little bit more tips and tools. Because this journey, being a caregiver, this journey when you're working with and on behalf of your aging loved ones, be it your parents, other relatives, friends, you know what you know and you don't know what you don't know. So I am just so happy to forge this relationship with you guys because you guys have just been blessing us all month with really great information.
I would tell you, you hit the jackpot when you hit Donnie Green.
Yes.
I hit the jackpot when I found Donnie Green. Donnie Green is the hardest working lady. She is the greatest lady to work with, and she is incredible knowledge.
She is like she
She's
just
amazing.
kept spitting knowledge, and I was just like, wait, you just taught me something new, and I was over here taking notes, and I was like, and then I go back and I listen to the episodes, and I'm like, oh, I missed that nugget, and I'm typing up notes so we can, because at the end of the month we're gonna post all of the resources and all the nuggets that you guys gave us in one place so the family can have it. But I was just like so impressed. Like y'all have really been knocking it out the park. And I'm getting calls like even after the episodes, like, wait, what was that address again? And wait, what was the name of that deed again? And I was just like, oh my God, but you guys have blessed us so tremendously this month. And I am just tickled that y'all are tickled purple because y'all know I'm not a pink girl. I am tickled purple that y'all have just really come to bless us with all of this knowledge.
Thank you so much, seriously, for having us because, we do this, but we do this to try to reach as many people as we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been so blessed, all of the things that came with COVID. One of the blessings that came with that is that we went from doing so many things in person.
Mm-hmm.
And we do a lot of rural counties. We have some urban counties, but we have some very rural counties.
Okay.
And we go out and do an event in person, and we'd have maybe 5 people show up.
Oh, wow.
And those were very time consuming to put together, but they were also a lot of work to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were forced to go online with so much of our stuff, and now we're talking about 300, 400, 500 people participating in events we're doing, and that rollover effect is just how can we bless as many people as possible with the resources we've been given to do that. So.
I'm just so excited. So we've been talking all month long about caring for our aging parents and loved ones. And so we've done general tips and tools. We've done caregiver resources. We've done, last week was dementia resources. And so this week, guys, we're going to talk about housing resources and things you need to know about housing. Because believe you me, it's a tricky little navigation when you looking at all the rules and then you're trying to make sure you don't do stuff to impact that person's Medicare and Medicaid, and then do they qualify for XYZ? How do we need to protect the home? Can we protect the home? What are the resources to help, maintain the home? Because I have learned over the years that there are multiple things, multiple programs for seniors and elders, and but if you don't go fill out the paperwork or you don't even know the programs exist, then you're just kind of SOL. Like, you're just kind of left to your own devices. And there are things out here for people to utilize to help them with housing.
There absolutely is, and you're absolutely right. It is incredibly complicated. Don't ask me who sits back and says, hey, how can we make this more complicated for our seniors, right? Who are already, they're not quite maybe technology savvy as we like them to be, but now they have to go online and they have to do this and that, and let's make it more and more complicated.
Let's make it more convoluted for them.
But it is so important to do things the right way because there is so much at stake. And unfortunately, so many people don't get to the education doesn't get to them to really help them. And I am just thrilled to be here to talk about a lot of that.
Well, I am glad you're here. So we're going to buckle up and take a quick break. And then we're going to come back and get into the meat and potatoes of this discussion so you can bless us with some nuggets.
There you go.
Is that cool?
I'll sit here on the firing seat. You let me have it. That sounds
all right, guys. So we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back. And then we want you guys to, talk to us in the comments. Give us a call. The number is 214-556-6239. Again, 214-556-6239. And we'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. Okay, so whose house is this? No, it's my house. It's my house. No, I know, that's a good one, isn't it? See, throwback. Okay, so
I gotta find out whose house it is.
It's my house right now. No. So it's funny we're talking about housing.
That's right.
Okay, so when I started this journey with mommy, one of my first thoughts was, oh shoot, how do I protect her house? So as she gets older, should I be what steps do I need to take to protect her home?
That is a really good question because if they own a home and they've owned it for any period of time and they preserve their equity in it and haven't drawn down that, every situation is very different, and it's really, really, really important that they seek help to get someone to advise them on what is the best avenue for them. I can tell you by owning your house, that there's several things that it does for you. Number one, it protects you from liability if you've homesteaded it. So that the equity in that house is not something that somebody can come and take away from you if there happened to be, God forbid, an accident or something. But there's also ways to protect that house from when you need more care. And even going into affordable housing now, there's ways to hold on to your house. Well, if you decide to move into senior apartments, and it very much has to do with how the funding source was set up for the type of house you're looking for. So you need to look at your situation and look at, okay, what do I need to be looking for that meets my needs? And it's just very, very unique to everyone. And so it's really, really important that you seek out help and advice in just doing that, because just selling the house can be a real mistake.
Mm. So when you say seek out resources, do we go to an estate attorney? Do we go to like elderly care attorney? Like, I don't know what the term is, but an attorney that specializes in like elder care and things of that nature. Do we go to um, a real estate attorney? Like, what is our first line of defense?
You're going to see an elder law or estate attorney, and the estate attorney's going to look at, first of all, you're going to share with them what your goals and objectives are. And in so many cases, we want to hold on to the house because that's our biggest asset we own, and that's what we're going to pass down to our family. And so in doing that, there are some different tools they use,
Mm-hmm.
and so many different ways to do it, I should say, to make sure that they protect that, so that if you go in a nursing home and you need dementia care,
Mm-hmm.
that you're not having to draw down from that house to do that. And there's ways you need to do it, because if you go into Medicaid into the nursing home, there's laws now that they can come back after you pass away and put a lien against the home.
That's that deed that she was telling us about last time.
That's
protect that.
Yes, there's a couple of different deed options, and some elder law attorneys will like the transfer on death deed. Some of them like the ladybird deed. They both kind of do the same thing. They're just a little bit different. And then there's other ways to set up trusts and different things, where it's not held against them as they need benefits, they need care, but it protects the assets for whatever the goal is of the owner, which is mom and dad or whoever, right? And a lot of times, the family, even the kids, have put money into the house,
Mm-hmm.
trying to keep it up for mom or dad, so they could still live there as long as they can.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're wanting to preserve that asset for them when they pass. And so getting advice, the right advice, seeing either an elder law attorney, there is the Texas State Legal Center that does a little bit of that. You're probably not going to, if you own the asset, not going to qualify for legal aid of Northwest Texas. But there's some that will help you, and just find one that's, you can find by asking around one that's reasonable. But you want to find, it's obviously nice to get a recommendation from somebody you know, because and there are lots of them in the area that do this.
Okay. Wow. Something that I never really thought about until until recently. So you were saying you don't necessarily have to sell your home in order to get health care, like if you have to go into like a facility or something.
You need that. This is planning ahead. And the earlier you plan, the better. And yes, you do not necessarily have to sell your home. And these are not unlawful avenues. These are statutes and ways that are set up within the law to allow you to protect it. So they're perfectly legal. You just need to see an attorney or someone that's going to help you look at your goals and objectives and get you through it. Because there's a lot of things, even if you sell your home, or your mom sells her home, let's just say, and she sells her home, she's earned a whole lot of equity in her home over a period of time, right? Well, she's going to have estate tax. I'm sorry, she's going to have capital gains tax on the sale on her gain, because And yet, once that property passes to the next generation, all of a sudden the basis of the home comes up to what the market value is upon the date of their death. And so all of a sudden, you now and your siblings have the house, but you now don't have to pay taxes on that equity as capital gains.
Gotcha.
And there's so many things, but you want to, there's the Medicaid track that you're trying to prepare yourself for if you were to need, especially when you get into things like dementia care, which can go on for a long time and be really, really expensive if you have to, go into a facility to be cared for with dementia care and those kind of things. But you can also, as I said, you may decide you want to move into an affordable housing development. And when I say affordable housing, you may want to move into senior apartments, and you don't have to sell your home to do that. You can hold on to your home, that assets, depending on the funding source. And I'll use, for example, tax credits. There's 9% tax credit housing, which is really a very large a number of recent affordable housing we've seen that's been developed in the last 20 years. But they have to verify assets, but there's not an asset test to count against you. There's an income test. And so as long as the house, if you're renting it out, the rent doesn't put you over the income qualifier, you can continue to own that house. Now, if you look at something like a housing choice voucher, in those cases, there are dollar amounts and things the assets can be worth before you qualify for. So you really have to not only that, but know what the different what your different options are out there, and find the one that works for you. And there's a lot of scenarios when it comes to affordable housing. And that does get complicated. It really does. And we do information. We do free webinars for people on a regular basis. We partner to do free webinars on. We have one recently that we did on, the different types of affordable housing in Texas, and how to understand them. And we've done them on. We actually have an attorney that we work with that does webinars with us, and we actually record those webinars, and they're on our YouTube channel. And they talk about protecting your house in regards to if the need comes, or when the need comes, if it comes, that you need Medicaid, and you need to go into a nursing home.
So how do we access those webinars?
You just contact me. And get on I have a distribution list that I manage. That is, we've got about 13,000 people on the distribution list now.
Oh wow!
We've built it over the 12 or 15 years I've been doing this, and that almost everything we do is free of charge.
Did you guys hear that? He said free of charge, and all you have to do is contact him. So guess what I'm going to give you? I'm going to give you Mr. Marty's number.
Give him my email address.
Okay.
The best thing you can do is email me and ask to be added to my distribution list.
So Mr. Marty's email address is M as in Mary, ARTY at, y'all know I can't see, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, A as in Apple, D as in David, S as in Sam, .net. Did I say that correctly?
That's right. And it's for North Texas Aging and Disability Services.
So you guys need to get on his list, because he's got a wonderful amount of information to share, and we all need to be on this webinar. Well, these webinars. Oh my goodness. First of all, I know that there are things you can do, but I never thought about how involved all of these rules can get and how detailed some of this stuff is.
It's, I don't know how, I don't know who in our government's in charge of making things more complicated and difficult than they need to be, but somebody's doing that someplace, because it's, as we spoke a little bit earlier about the technology, add the technology and add all of the ins and outs to these, it's really, really, really hard to maneuver by yourself, and that's why you really need to find the right person to help you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so when we come back, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, can you talk more about like programs for home modifications and repairs?
I surely can, and I can talk about the different types of affordable housing if you'd like to do that as well. We talked, I know that was on our list too, but we can surely talk about both of those
things. Let's do that. We'll be right back, guys.
They contact me, they're going to give them sending up lists and affordable housing. That was the first contract. But then it came on webinars. And we sent because it was funded by unfortunately it's not it's just I shake my head at my mom my dad and shop is so much for the rest of the world. And I'm like, on her Medicare Advantage program, just to take
We just make it so hard for them to survive.
Really important. It's not that's how hard they can and then to maneuver themselves and then they make a and what's that? ADS for North Texas Disability and myself I did everything on my
I just want to make sure they had it. Because I had people, they will go back and be like, you said you was going to put it
I want you, even on the information, I was going to see, I can do this, I can do my art, and there's so many things I can send you that hopefully will help the people that follow this.
I just,
Also, want to do it.
that's all this platform is. You know, my friends challenge me. I feel the patient that I trained them, like they really are.
Yes.
And they would say, like, that's good. Okay. And now I'm being
You go, right?
so, but it's because, like, I want to be able to be impactful. Like, the things that I have learned, even from other stuff, because that one year, I was just going around like, who gonna have my mama sister's hat? Like, I know that's a long time. I like Bill Collins. And I really love this song. Told you we was gonna have fun with the music today. I got Chris, what's his face from? Yeah. What's wrong with he gonna close this out? I like him too. Yeah, I told y'all I like a lot of stuff. And go to okay, okay, Taylor, Taylor, I think you the longest one we've had.
You're the longest producer we've had, Taylor.
I feel like I haven't been here that long, but you know what? That's okay.
Well, maybe it's because we have really learned this together. What you think?
I think so.
I think so. But I love you, Taylor. Thank you for making this work for us.
Isn't that one of those things they say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? So here you go.
And I actually love this podcast. Like, I really do. Like, if I could do this all day long, if I could just be on the podcast all day long, I might have a better outlook. What you think, Taylor? No, I'm so serious.
Some people, they make a ton of content and they put it out. And you got the content, and you got the drive to do it.
I mean, I like this. I like talking to people. I like learning new stuff. I like putting people, with the information they need. I might need to stay with this.
There you go. Seriously.
Lord, let this be my full time. I'm just saying.
Amen. Seriously.
Because I really do love doing this.
Yes.
I kind of look forward to every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, even though I'll be sleepy.
And you have the great personality to be doing it. Seriously.
Thank you.
Seriously. So upbeat. And when we're talking to seniors or we're talking to caregivers, you know what? They're needing to be uplifted, right? They really need to be uplifted.
It can be a rough job. Like, you never know what you're going to get on a daily basis. You just don't, because your mama, loved one, they are subject to say anything and do anything, and you just have to remember that it's really not them.
That's right.
And once I learned that, I'm like, okay, now do I have my moments? I do have my moments, because sometimes you just be like, what just happened here? Like, for real? Did they just do that? And you have your moments at times, but I mean, the lessons that I have learned over the last couple of years, I really do want to share that with people, because that is why this topic was just on me, because I was just like, you don't know what you don't know, and you know what you know. And then even the stuff that it changes so much from day to day based on whatever the regulations are, whatever the laws are, whoever's in charge on a specific day. Like, things can change so much. So you gotta arm yourself with nice resources and knowledgeable people so you don't miss the beat.
I agree. I'm not gonna, we get a lot of social service providers that join us for a lot of our webinars just because they're trying to keep up with it because it changes so much.
It changes so much.
And there's just so much information.
Exactly. Like it's like you're drowning in this sea of information and you're just like, but wait, you just said this. Well, no, that doesn't apply because this part applies only because of this little piece right here. And you're just like, but that's not even it's not even the whole picture.
This is where you get into, I told you Donnie Green
Yeah.
She is amazing. I mean, what she knows, the people she knows, the information she's an amazing person. And those are numbers you want to keep.
Look,
every time. Yeah, those are numbers, email addresses you want to make sure you hold on to and she's, like I said, a hardworking woman.
I am just so glad you guys partnered with us this month. I really am. So let's talk about affordable. What did we just call it?
Let me do a little bit of, if I could, talk about the different types of affordable housing, and then we'll move on to talk about the resources for home repair and home modification. Is that all right?
That's perfect.
One of the things that
take it away.
People, one of the people the things that we get all the time from people is a lot of people make the comment that tax credit housing isn't affordable.
Okay.
And that comes from a place where not understanding how tax credit housing works. Tax credit housing works different than what Section 8 vouchers or housing choice vouchers work. They work very differently. So when you're looking there, you need to be knowing what to ask for and what you're looking for.
So this is tax credit housing.
There's two different tax credit housing programs. One is the 9% program, and the other is the 4% program. And those two, the largest amount of affordable housing that's been built in the last 20 or 25 years is the 9% housing, tax credit housing. And so people are seeing more and more of that, but then they're going in and they're finding out it's not affordable because they don't know the right questions.
Okay.
They have different units that are subsidized at different levels, and so that is where I really encourage you to tune into one of the webinars that we do and learn more about what are the right things you're going to ask for when you're going to a tax credit property or when you're calling a tax credit property, which is very, very different than public housing that's handled through the housing authorities or your housing choice vouchers that you get most often from the housing authorities. But there's also housing choice vouchers that become site-based vouchers because sometimes the housing authorities will actually attribute a certain amount of vouchers to a developer in order to incentivize them to build affordable housing that they need.
Okay.
And so those become site-based vouchers. So where housing choice vouchers you would apply for at your housing authority, site-based vouchers you would apply for at the specific site where those vouchers have been issued to. And so there's so many pieces, and that's really the point I want to make. It's too complicated to really get into all the detail without having my slideshow and everything. I just want to make sure people understand there are several different aspects of affordable housing.
Okay.
And it's really important that you understand. We do webinars on it. There's other places you can find the information, but it's really helpful if you find out about them and find what piece works best for that person.
Okay.
And what are the right questions to ask when you're talking to someone for a specific type of
Okay, guys. Mr. Marty's email address again is in the chat in the comments, but it is marty@ntads.net.
That's it. That's it.
Email him so you can understand what information you need to be asking so you can get on these webinars and arm yourself with the information you need to use these resources.
It is so, you will, once you understand it, and it's a lot of information, but you'll find out it's still tough. The supply and demand has been out of whack for a long time, but you need to arm yourself with that to better the odds of helping yourself or your clients or your family members.
We are here to better the odds.
That's exactly right. That is exactly
Email
right.
Mr. Marty.
And there's also some little tips too. Always go in and visit with a property manager. Never just call them on the phone or send them an email.
Did y'all hear that?
Always go in and visit with them.
See, I know we are so used to this microwave society where all we have to do is pick up the phone or leave an email, or sometimes you need to touch folks. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes you need to touch people. Like, even in my other business, y'all know I got several businesses, but even in my other business, my coach said that the other night. Sometimes you just need to be in front of people face to face. Guys, stop doing everything on Zoom. Stop doing everything on the phone. Stop just trying to send the email. Get your booty up, get out the house, and go have a face to face meeting with.
It's going to put you a step ahead of all of the people you're competing with that are just sending emails or just making phone calls. That's going to give you your competitive edge by going out and meeting those property managers and getting them to put a face with a name.
Put a face with the name. Stop hiding behind your phone and your email.
Everybody else can do that. You don't want to do that.
Do you want this housing or not?
That's right.
Go and make friends with your property manager. Okay.
That's exactly right. That's exactly the leasing people. And just so you know, part of teaching people the right questions to ask is knowing the right people to ask the questions to. Because some of these questions are so complicated that the person answering the phone at the apartment complex doesn't know what you're talking about. If you say, I want to know if you have any 30% AMI units at this property. And I'm just throwing that out because that you're going to learn on a webinar what that means.
Right.
But the person at the front desk, maybe someone that's only worked there a couple of months, she's answering the phone. She may say no, but she just doesn't know the answer many times. Exactly. And so talking to the right person is really important.
You got to talk to the right people.
Really
y'all better email Mr. Marty so y'all can get in the know.
I want as many people as we can in the know because we want you to be successful in getting what you need. And that's the only reason why we do this.
Exactly, because we want to make a difference.
Absolutely. And whether it's for yourself or for a family member or for people you serve, people in your church, whoever you work with, the best thing you can do is become educated in how to do it right.
Let's do it right, y'all. Like we owe it to ourselves and our loved ones to do it right. All right, I'm not going to be the dead horse, but do it right, y'all.
And now we got to talk about, we got to get on it. So we start time, we got to talk about resources for home repair and modification.
Yes, please.
And these are really some tricky things. Just like everything else, it can be very complicated. But a lot of this has to do with where you live. Where is the house you're trying to get help on? There are resources out there that have been earmarked for home repair and home modifications for low-income, either seniors or persons with disabilities or low-income families. Just like there is down payment assistance programs out there. But you've got to know it has to do with where you live and what's available in your area. So once again, we do webinars on how to find that stuff, but some of it comes through actually your city government. The city, especially the bigger cities, they get what they call Community Development Block Grant money, or CDBG money. And the CDBG money, they have some wherewithal to decide how it's going to be used in their city. And home repair and home modification is one of the possible uses for it, but they decide how that's going to be used. And so they usually have meetings annually to listen to the constituents, to listen to people in the city that tell them how they want it to be spent. And believe it or not, there's not a lot of people that show up to those hearings or those meetings, and there's not a lot of people that write letters. And it's really important to get out and do some advocacy for how you would like to see those funds spent in your area. And a lot of cities do a really, really good job at it. And I'm just gonna point out, Denton, Texas is one of the cities in our service area. We have a large service area. They have for years done an incredibly good job at really doing home repairs on home modifications. And there's other cities that have totally allotted those funds towards parks and recs and other things that are important too, infrastructure. But there's lots of things pulling at them for those resources. But in order to get some of them used for that type of thing, you and your friends need to get out and go to their hearings, their public hearings they have, and or write them a letter or send them an email. And but there's also some non-for-profit organizations out there. There's actually some. The state has a website that will give you some general information about who might have who might have resources to help with those kind of things in your area. So once again, get a hold of me and we'll help you get that information.
Email Mr. Marty, guys, MARTY at ntads.net. Please email him. Advocacy is important. We're advocating for you right now. Advocacy is important. You need to know what places you need to go and advocate to get more money for these community development dollars. Yes, sir.
It's really amazing how you go talk to the staffers at your state representative's office or your U.S. government representative's office. You go make an appointment and go talk to the staffers. Make it with you and a few of your friends, or write handwritten letters. They don't get very many of those anymore, and they're still very impactful, but you can still send them emails, do something. There's some that's more impactful than others, but do something to help yourself and your neighbors. And we had a group in Louisville here recently, a group of seniors. The housing they lived in had aged out of the affordable housing period. Because usually when they get the money, they're restricted for 25 or 30 years, and then they get to the end of that period. And they were trying to advocate. They got together, and I mean, they got their political. They had a city council person there. They had us there. They got the people together because they wanted to do something to make a difference. So there's things that you can do, but you got to get out and really make it happen, because sitting at home and complaining on it doesn't fix it, really.
No, it really doesn't. Like, you got to get out and do something.
There's a phone number I want to make sure
okay.
to, because my service area is a 14 county service area in the greater Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and yet there are housing navigator programs all across the state of Texas. And so I really want to give you a really important number, that if you happen to be outside of the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area, or you have friends or family that lives in another part of the state, there's a Texas Aging and Disability Resource Center helpline. And that number is 855-937-2888. 2372. And the state put together this number because people were having such a hard time finding the right resources in the right area. And I really encourage you, anybody can call that number, and what will happen is they will collect a little bit of location information from you, and they will actually just transfer that call to the area that serves your area.
So this is the Texas Aging and...
It's the Texas Aging and Disability Resource Center helpline. Texas ADRC. The Aging and Disability Resource Centers are ADRCs, and they started them back in about 2009, 2010, but they have since then funded them to cover the entire state of Texas, and that number will get you to whichever one serves the area that you're looking for help in.
Okay, so that number again is 855-937-2372.
That's it.
See, guys, I told y'all were gonna be blessed tonight, just like we've been blessed all month. Anything else you want to tell us before we wrap it up?
I want to help as many people as we can, and I am very grateful for you inviting us here to help.
I am just really thankful that y'all came.
Seriously, very grateful for having us.
No, thank you for saying yes. Okay, guys, so we just want to thank Mr. Marty for coming tonight. And I hope that we gave you guys some information that you can use. Email Mr. Marty, marty@ntads.net.
And that's for North Texas Aging and Disability Services. And I apologize about the confusion, but this is my company, and I'm a contractor under the ADRC and the Area Agency on Aging. So I apologize. There's a little bit of confusion there, but it's North Texas Aging and Disability Services.
You're good.
ntads.net.
ntads.net. Y'all heard that? And then the Texas Aging and Disability Resource Center hotline number, again, is 855-937-2372. Mr. Marty, thank you so much.
Thank you again for having me.
Thank you.
I sincerely appreciate it.
I really learned a lot tonight. I just keep learning more and more. Taylor, thank you, girl. Thank you so much for all you do to keep us going. And to the fam out there, y'all were quiet in the chat, and I know y'all were listening because we got comments, but no questions. So go back, re-listen, re-look, share, and we will see you guys same housing time, same housing place next week. Love you guys. Peace.
Stepping out into the night, trying not to pain. Go to the place where love don't ever comes to pain. Pain, it feels a different kind of pain. I'm going home.
And it's the music that comes out, and the journey you want to play everything on, and then what information that we can offer to give you before you're in the month to go and then you can see that but I may have to
Places and these
what I
places
can say to you that would help them